Look how big some of these leaves are. They are absolutely massive.
Hi and welcome. Here I am in the gorgeous Cairns Botanic Gardens, and I've got a really special guest for you today. Welcome, Richard, to Draw PJ.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you very much.
Now, Richard works in the most amazing style. It's so beautiful and filled with light and colour. He's a multi-award-winning artist, gallery represented, and it's a real privilege to have him here with me today. You've spent a lot of time in the Botanical Gardens, haven't you?
I started visiting here in 1991, so I watched the gardens grow, things change, the effects of cyclones and how the landscape recovers so quickly. Here things grow hugely quickly. It's amazing that the recovery that the land has here after such things as a cyclone.
So, Richard, how would you describe your art style?
I like to analyse. I like to look at layers. I like to look at objects devoid of detail. Geoffrey Smart, an Australian artist.
Oh, yes.
His work appeals to me. Fred Williams' work appeals to me. How they have taken their subject and reduced a lot of the detail, but still retain the atmosphere. One of my friends, Kevin Crace, who was a master photographer in Tasmania, did, or still does, photographic cleansing, where he analyses a subject and removes all the superfluous detail. In fact, it was 2006, I remember, when Kevin and I were getting together and sharing each other's ideas and work. Up until then, I'd still been part realism, part semi-abstraction, part abstract. But I wanted to see something a little bit simpler. So I take an idea and I just let it develop. And that often results in semi-abstract work, or in case of the Klekociuk Gardens, some quite interestingly, for me anyway, abstract work. So it's another way of looking at something that's real, but breaking it down.
How do you capture that idea of layering in your work?
When I first look at something, I always, to me anyway, what's important is how I feel about what I'm looking at. I will spend 5 or 10 minutes in a place and I just sit there and I listen. I don't look, I actually listen. I try and capture the mood for the place. And in this case here, quiet. The odd chainsaw and whatever in the distance, but birds coming and going, but fairly natural. And I like to feel the smell of the place, in this case the heat of the place, and then I look at the light, and the light to me is really important. It's all green. Look how much green there is around us. There's the occasional bit of colour of flower and seed and the decay, and the decay really interests me. I like the way things in the tropical rainforests fall down, break down really quickly. But in that process, there are times when some of the leaf litter on the forest floor is really bright. So I love the contrast of bright and the interplay of light. Here's a really great example of what I've been talking about. Look at this submerged, or semi-submerged basically, leaf here, this red one.
It's gorgeous, look at those bright colours.
And look how strong the greens are.
Yeah.
It's totally foreign to any leaf around it. There's a subtle reminder here, this is a faded version. But when I come to a place like this, I simply will get my camera out and I record that. I need to record it because when I come back again, it will be totally different. Nothing stays the same here. Another good gush, fall of rain will come down, wash more leaves down, and it will change totally. So it's really important when you come to a place to record as much as you can and then revisit the place, because again, it will be different. You'll suddenly just move then, suddenly swam off then. But again, I just love the play of light on this, so I'll record that.
Is that what's exciting you then and motivating you to draw that perhaps later?
Yeah, oh yes. I like the little bubbles, the way the bubbles are sitting there. And there's a little leaf that's just gone into there and has hitched a ride on the bubble there. So I'll just record that. There's a small amount of water over the corner there. When I was here last, there was a beautiful trickle of water coming down here, and just lots of semi-submerged leaves. It was a whole collection which was lined up down here, and I spent so long over on that bank taking photos. And the light was just right. It was bouncing off the water, and the water was rippling down. It was just layers and layers down through. It was a fascinating place, and now it's almost totally dry. But give it another month, and the water will come gushing down again.
So Richard, what medium do you prefer to use in your work?
Coloured pencil. Coloured pencil's always been for me the medium I thought I was born to have.
Wow.
Because I love it, because it's clean, it's not messy, I can take it anywhere I like, I can draw in the most weird places, inside, outside, any time of the day or night, but it's just one of those accessible mediums. I love painting, I'm a trained sculptor, but I don't sculpt anymore, maybe one day. I also love digital art, and I've done a lot of digital work, and I've exhibited digital work. Digital work to me actually complements my pencil, because it's almost the opposite. The colours have no texture, but pencil drawing has still got it over digital art, because when you look at it you feel like you just want to pick them up or run your hands over them. It's that little bit of texture, because I don't use paper and I use pastel board, which has got that nice
Beautiful
gentle texture
texture.
of Meton's paper on it. It gives a slightly stand-up three-dimensional look, and that's what I really like about it. People have often said to me they like my gouache paintings, and I try to explain to them that I love gouache, I actually paint in gouache too, but this is not gouache, it's colour pencil, and some of them genuinely don't believe me.
Look at that gorgeous yellow-orange banana leaf.
Oh, beautiful.
I love the red. along the
And of
stem.
course this is now the leaf in its final stages of decline, before it hits the forest floor, breaks up and goes back into the soil.
Wow.
It's a beautiful contrast between life, death, and this in between, just breaking down. It's almost autumn look,
It is, isn't it?
whereas autumn doesn't exist up here, of course. It's wet and
No.
dry, but just lovely to see the decline.
I just love the colour contrast and the texture
Yes.
contrasts.
And it's loud.
Yes.
It's nothing soft and gentle up here. It's often loud colour. When I was teaching here at the Cairns Art Escape in July a couple of years ago, one morning I walked across the bridge and I looked down. And for some reason, something caught my eye. It was just a pile of leaves, but the way the light was hitting the water, I saw these wonderful reflections in here. So I had to, before I even started my class, I had to come out with the camera and go clickety clickety click and record it all. But after that, after the course finished and I went back to Tasmania, I ended up producing a particular drawing which showed, well, it was almost sinister in a way. It was so dark, yet within that were just little pockets of colour. I just rather liked the way these pockets of colour floated around, and you could just make out that it was a pond. And it was the first drawing I finished before I left Launceston to come to Cairns last year.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to artists just starting out who might be wondering where to find their inspiration from?
Try and be yourself. Find out who you are. Try and avoid copying the work of other people. By all means, look at the work of other artists. Study art history. Art history can tell us a lot about the way people have thought in the past, because a lot of the art we do today, in fact, maybe some people say all of the art we do today, is based on what has been done before. But the way we do it is the way we see it. By all means, take photos, but take photos of various subjects. Go around in the outside, see things, look at shadows, look at light, go out on windy days, go out in still days, early in the morning, late afternoon, look at objects in the home. Those sort of things are just simply what you see, and you'll build up a lovely library of reference material.
Well, thanks for that great advice, Richard. And where can we find out more about your work?
My website is my main source of work. That's at artkleco.com. But I also have an active blog which I post at least once a month. I have a Facebook page and my represented gallery, Gallery Museum in Launceston.
Fantastic. And I'll put some links to all of Richard's works below for you. Well, thanks very much, Richard. It's been fantastic meeting up with you today and chatting about your work. It's been so interesting and loads of fun as well.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Cindy.
And thank you too for joining us. And I'm going to see you next time. But remember to just show up at the table, because the rest will take care of itself.
Oh!
Go on then.
Do you want me to do
Oh,
that?
what's that? Oh, there was a snake.
It was my foot in the leaves.
Oh, dear.